Hi, I'm Cheryl Farrer, the South Island Business Manager for AgriVantage, the distributor of Stalosan and other Vilofoss products in New Zealand. Today, I have the opportunity to tell you a little bit about New Zealand, AgriVantage, and to show you how we are using Stalosan F on sheep farms in New Zealand. New Zealand is a small country located to the east of Australia in the Pacific Ocean. Agriculture is our leading contributor to New Zealand's economy, providing over 12% of our gross domestic product, or GDP. Most people know that New Zealand is the largest exporter of dairy production in the world. But we are also the largest exporters of sheep meat in the world, and the sheep and beef industries make a significant contribution to our economy. At AgriVantage, we partner with global leaders to bring tried and tested products and innovative solutions to our New Zealand customers. Together with our international partners, we are committed to helping New Zealand farmers grow. We pride ourselves on providing our customers with all the information they need to rear their young stock successfully. We have a comprehensive website and active social media accounts and invite you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Our team includes 2 regional business unit managers, myself and my colleague Yaku in the North Island, and we are supported by Christine Swidell, the AgriVantage team leader, who has worked with Stalosan in New Zealand poultry industry for over 15 years. We have an exceptional customer service team based in Christchurch in the South Island and also work with a nutrition and marketing consultant who are both based in the North Island. Join me over the next few minutes as I show you how we use Stalosan in sheep production in New Zealand. I hope you enjoy our virtual visit to the South Island of New Zealand. So I work with farmers on a daily basis, helping them to rear healthy animals. I work with dairy farmers and beef rearers rearing calves, also with sheep farmers rearing their lambs, orphan lambs and lambs that they've taken off a multiple birth. So today we're predominantly talking about rearing lambs. I'm on a typical New Zealand sheep farm. So we are currently standing in front of a rearing shed where they would rear their lambs. In New Zealand, anyone who rears lambs doesn't have a specific setup for their lambs. It's usually an implement shed, an old shearing shed, sheep yards, etc. They've just got what they've got and they make it work. So let's take a look at a typical New Zealand lamb rearing shed. If you have a look in here, you'll see we've got nice open spaces, we've got plenty of room to get outside into the pasture. So these lambs are older, we're getting towards the end of the season here. So these guys come and go. They've got an automatic feeding machine here. So they'll come in, they'll have a drink of milk, they might sit in here out of the sun and then they'll go back out to the pasture to graze. So in New Zealand, our rearing systems are quite intensified. So everything depends really mostly on our weather, and Mother Nature is never kind to us, usually through spring when everyone's dropping lambs. So you might think you're going to start off with maybe 20 or 30 lambs and end up with 50, 60, 100 lambs. So all of a sudden, biosecurity and the risk of infection and disease becomes so crucial to be able to maintain that and keep things under control. For us in New Zealand, Stalosan has become a game changer. So this is a typical pen in this setup. It's got a clay base bottom. So in here, they would sprinkle the Stalosan on the bottom of the floor. So because the pen's quite small, they would just do it by hand. Just making sure they've got a nice even dusting of the Stalosan here. And then once this pen is completely covered in Stalosan, they would then go and put straw down. They use straw in here for their bedding. Some places use bark, some use wood chip. So in here you can see there's a lovely base of Stalosan here, good thick coverage for the bottom. So here's a typical pen that's got the bedding down. So in here, they would reapply the Stalosan every 3 to 4 days to help keep the moisture out, etc. So in a pen of this size, you wouldn't need any other equipment really to spread the Stalosan. In here, you would tend to just grab it by hand and just sprinkle it around. There are many different ways that you can apply the Stalosan, but for here, by hand works perfect. Also, something we've found with Stalosan in New Zealand is it helps to keep the bird population down, which is quite crucial because quite often there's meal containers in here and pigeons for some reason. I don't know why, but it definitely helps keep those bird numbers down. So in New Zealand, we have a lot of different sizes when it comes to our rearing facilities. Pens are all shapes and sizes. So here, what works perfectly, applying it by hand or a little container and sprinkling it, doesn't always work for bigger systems. So in some of the bigger systems, they're using a knapsack, so it goes on your back, pumps the powder out. For me, myself, I've come up with a little bit of Kiwi ingenuity when it comes to applying it. I got a couple of buckets, and it doesn't matter what size, whether it's a 5, a 10 or a 20 litre bucket, whatever's most comfortable for the person that's using them. And I've drilled lots of little holes in the bottom of the bucket and then filled it to a comfortable weight. And as you walk along, you just walk and twist your wrists. So you get a consistent spread, it's nice and even. And then you take another step over to the other side and keep spreading. It spreads beautifully, keeps it nice and low, so you're not getting any wastage either. And I've also seen in New Zealand real Kiwi ingenuity when it comes to a farmer. He got a big bucket and he got a vacuum cleaner or a hoover that blows air instead of sucking, and he's blowing it around the place. He gets it everywhere, but there's great coverage. So for myself and farmers in New Zealand, Stalosan has been a game changer. What it has done is allowed people to rear more animals in much smaller environments, making it safe, minimising the risk of disease, and then growing great animals.